Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to cover a book that I think is incredibly important for young artists and creative people. I've given this to tons of friends or people who've come to me asking for certain advice. It is called Real Artists Don't Starve. It covers mostly the myth that if you're going to be an artist, you're going to need to suffer in poverty. We've all heard that trope. We've seen it in movies, we've seen it in television, we've read it in books. But it's just not true. He lays down a really good historical foundation for what that myth is and where it came from in the beginning of the book. And then he goes on and tells you as an artist how to really achieve success by certain factors that other artists did. I'm going to share my favorite points from this book today and hope that it encourages some of you to get out there and keep creating. Point number one is the starving artist is a myth. This is the front of the book, and he breaks down very simply that in 1847, Henry Merger created this ideal that we should romanticize the struggling artist, and he ignored all types of historical biography on artists that we all know and love. So what this has done to us in society is it gets put in things that we have grown to accept as some type of reality, because when you're starting as an artist, or to be fair, when you're starting in any field or expertise or career, you aren't instantly successful. But for some reason, with the artist thing, it really holds on, and people will buy into that and almost use it as an excuse. It can become a type of crippling narrative that an artist can hold on to for why their work is not succeeding. Now, we all have to be sure and not base success on selling 1,000,000 paintings or 1,000,000 books, because that's not what success is. Success is when you're happy as an artist, when you're fulfilled as an artist. But going beyond that, and we should, if you're going to have a career as an artist, you do need to make money. This whole narrative of the struggling, suffering artist who's misunderstood, underappreciated, and abused by all of society is not accurate. In anything you do, in anything you're learning to do, you're going to have an entry point of difficulty. The artist, the banker, the baseball player, they all have an entry where you have to learn, be disciplined, and produce work. Number two, no one becomes a master. He has a really wonderful Hemingway quote here. We are all apprentices in a craft where no one ever becomes a master. The creative process requires continuous reinvention and education. My entire career, and any career of any friend or anyone I know who's ever achieved anything, was constantly learning, constantly developing, and never decided they had arrived. The moment that you decide you have arrived as an artist, it's over, because the pursuit of the artist is the pursuit of what has never been done. So anyone who thinks they're a master, anyone who thinks they've reached the epitome and they are the greatest of all time, there's going to be a real tension and a clash of how creativity actually works and how learning helps creativity work. I've met so many talented, gifted, and even hardworking artists who eventually reach this point where they think they've done it all, and that's when their art begins to really suffer. So as an artist, what you need to realize is you never become a master. You never reach the point of being the best, because you are always wanting to grow. That should be the posture of an artist and a creative person. It is a constant progress or a constant creative evolution. Point number three, stop trying to be original. This is one of my all-time favorite soapboxes with creative people, with people in business, with anyone trying to do anything. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. That's Cicero. The main quote I want to tell you is, a good artist understands that nothing comes from nowhere. All creative work builds on what came before. Nothing is completely original. My biggest failures as a creative person, as an artist, and as a business person have been from trying to be so original that I failed horribly. It is when I learn to embrace things from the past, learn from those things, synthesize my favorite things together, that I created some of my best creations. There's a couple other quotes that I love. One is from Miles Davis, and it is, "The greatest artists are thieves who never get caught." And then C.S. Lewis, he says, "Even in literature and art, no man who bothers about originality will ever be original. Whereas if you simply try to tell the truth without caring how often it has been told before, you will, 9 times out of 10, become original without ever having noticed." I can't agree more, and I can't tell you of any other creative principle that I have lived and seen others live to become successful in their work. We can get so hung up on, I don't want to steal from this or look like this, I want to be original, that we forget that everything on earth starts from somewhere else. We stand on the shoulders of giants. It's incredibly important to not get this into your head as a young artist and worry about copying. Now, it's one thing to go blatantly rip someone off and not give credit, but it's another to take inspiration, learn the mastery of another artist, and then learn the mastery of another one, and synthesize all of those inspirations together to become yourself. That takes time to do, but there's only one way to do that. It's copy your heroes. By copying those heroes, you will have those tools that they gave you, but you cannot get around being yourself. No matter how hard you try, you're always going to be you. You're always going to play guitar like you. You're always going to write like you. You're always going to paint like you or act like you. So it's important to know, even though you're copying or borrowing or learning from your heroes, you will never be your heroes. Point number 4, practice in public. This is super, super important. We can be really hidden, we can be really introverted, and we can be really insecure about what we're making. But what we need to realize is we need to make things and show them to get feedback on them. And we often don't realize that our obsession with perfection and thinking it's not done yet is a disservice to our own work. We're always in our heads, and we need to take our work and put it in front of people, because often it's amazing, people are going to love it, but we mess that experience up. And art is not good if it doesn't help anyone. Art isn't useful if it's not in front of people. Of course, you can make things for yourself, and you should, and that is the first point of the artist experience. But we all need and want our art to be in front of people. So why do we restrain it back with this insecurity when we need to be putting it out there? Because it's good for us, and it's good for the person that our art is made for. He says, in order to be found, you have to be findable. This is such a simple revelatory thing. We all complain about, no one knows my music, no one knows my art, but yet here we are holding it back. So my big takeaway and encouragement to you is, if you're making something, start showing it. Practice in front of people. Quit saying it's not mixed yet. Quit saying it's not done. Just put it out there and move on. Putting it out there will give you feedback that'll let you know how it's being received. And we're going to be really critical of ourselves. And what you might find, to your surprise, is when you put your work out there and practice in front of people, you're going to realize they love your work. And that's only going to inspire you and help you to move on, instead of setting and soaking and suffering in this one little project that you can't get your head out of. Our 5th and final point here is acquire more skills. If you saw my episode a few weeks back, a tribute to David Lynch, this will be a bit of a broken record, but this is the type of broken record that creatives need to constantly hear. You need to acquire more skills. He says, starving artists try to master one skill, but a thriving artist acquires whatever skill is necessary to get the job done. Diversity pays. Being diverse as a creative person and as an artist is a must. All of the greats were diverse. No one did one thing. They had influences all around them, whether that be hobbies or other creative pursuits or interests. And all of those interests funnel in and create and synthesize you, the unique artist. I'm the way I am because I love guitar, photography, I love writing. I'm all over the place. All of those things build who I am as an artist. You need to picture each one of your interests as a Lego, and you're building this unique Lego set that is like no one else. We're all different because we like different things. And as an artist, you should push that a little further. You should actually try to learn and acquire new skills. So if you're a photographer, you need to really think about studying cinema. You need to think about studying painting. You need to look at geometry and think about, why are beautiful things beautiful? If you're a guitarist, you need to study lots of genres. You might only like country or jazz, but you can pull from everything from pop to metal and make your love of that genre unique. This is every discipline. And the biggest pitfall for young artists is they think, I have to stay and master this one thing that I love and never look at anything else. But that is ridiculous when it comes to being an artist that is able to reach people and get the things in your head out of your head to those people. I hope you enjoyed this and found it helpful. Again, there is a link in the description to grab this book if you're interested. I really found so much of this useful, and so much of it as a confirmation to things I already thought. So I think it's a great book. It's a quick read, and it's written really well. If you like this, hit like, subscribe, and there's a bell icon. You can get notifications of future episodes. I really appreciate all of you who have been watching the channel. I've been quite surprised by its growth and all the interaction and comments. It's been a blast for me to talk about creativity in these ways and get to meet so many of you. In the comments below, let me know if there are any topics you want me to cover on this channel. I've obviously been doing a lot of sharing a book and my favorite insights from those books about creativity. I want to get into some of my interests like photography, and I'm trying to navigate how to do that. So if you have any advice or suggestions, I would love to see those. Have a wonderful day. Go make stuff. Bye.